What's up, fuckers? How's your day going? Good, I hope. Hopefully you're having a better day than some others. Just got winded. A buddy of mine just got fucking picked up. Picked up, I mean, by the cops. Never a good fucking day, man. At least I'm having a good day. Hopefully you're having a good day. He's not having so good of a day. Cleaned this floor about 4 days ago. Man, I forgot how slick it was. Take the camera off, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This floor is like slick. It's what is it? So it's a 3-car garage. It is I don't know if you know how they do those epoxy floors, where they throw down like the little chips. This isn't that, but this has that gray base. So it has that gray base without the epoxy chips being thrown down. And man, I used some wheel cleaner. To it's fucking hot. I used wheel cleaner to clean my wheels, and when I went to go just quickly wipe the wheel cleaner up off the floor, because the dog and I both brought in like a bunch of mulch and just shit from the yard, it made this floor just slick and snot. The floor is just dumb slick. Whoa. It's a beautiful day. It's warm, it's nice, it's sunny. Absolutely beautiful day out, man. So let me show you this floor and show you what I'm talking about. My sneakers are slick to start off with, but when I came in and went, whoa, that's super slick. I grabbed my front brake and my tire like skid a little. Oh, I didn't even walk on that. Good thing I wasn't like ripping too hard, but all right, so when I came in, right here, I don't, you're not going to be able to tell, but you can certainly see that gray epoxy is just slick as snot, man. I came in, I didn't lock the front brake up, but definitely grabbed on the front brake and the whole bike went, just slid right to the side. And these tires are good and grippy. I mean, they're new. Look, you still got the nubbies on them. If you're wondering, if your tires are any good, look for the nubbies. Those nubbies are a dead giveaway that your tires are freaking new. When I put tire shine on here, and you can still see it has a nice sheen, I never even come close to the sidewall. Ever, never, never, ever. But look, even these guys still have the nubbies on them. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but I'm going to bring this outside. See the nubbies? You can see those nubbies are still there. This is like the best part of letting your Harley cool down. The Harley ASMR, kid. At least it's one of my favorite parts. All right, let's go upstairs and have some chat time. A little bit of talk time. I like the new sticker on my Shoei. It's that old school Friends Cruisy original sticker. So we got a Shoei Quest. I thought under there a little bit, but I think it looks dope. I just think it looks cool as fuck, man. I'm gonna wait for the bike to cool down a little bit before I pop on my lovely Saddleman's tank cover. Reconnected. That's why I gotta get out of the garage. We gotta stop all that reconnecting bullshit. It's not gonna work, man. That's just not gonna work. Not figure it out. Beautiful thing about having a nice full face helmet. You can throw a couple old ones in there. Call it a day. Alright, I do have close the garage door. Yeah, it's warm. It is warm. Doesn't she just look beautiful? Man, she's one pretty Dinah. She is just one pretty Dinah, man. I love that. I love that fairing. I love the I love the Harley clamshell. It just looks the nuts. Absolutely looks primo. Alright, let's go upstairs, have some talk time. I got my tripod, bought a back porch, and just shoot the breeze. Don't shoot the breeze. I got my tripod last. He is out with me first. And then I will look at my tripod. And then we can talk. So this is the house I told you I painted, did all the siding, did all the clapboards. Yeah, I'm fixing that. Did all the clapboards and what else we do? Molding, clapboards, paint. After the clapboards came paint, and then all the trim. Some of it is Azek, some of it is prime pine. Go grab my tripod, I will be right back. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, kid. I will be right with you, so I'll give you a better view. There you go. Beautiful Melrose. That wasn't too terrible. Only kept just waiting for a minute. We lost 3. That's all good. They probably didn't want to be here. All good. People that I have here, lighters. What up? People that I have here, either longtime followers or. What up, lighters? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I absolutely love that sticker. I think it's hilarious. I didn't like it at first, so I'm like, I'm not putting that on my swing arm. But huge shout out to Cruzy Originals, hooking it up with the dope slap pack. We got a little sneak preview right here. If you know anything about racetech, your mind's gonna be blown right now. And you know how nuts I go for my slaps. I'm gonna unveil this guy in a second. I gotta get situated first. Literally just parked the bike. But I think one of these. Nah, no helmet. We'll put it on the fairing. That's what we'll do. We'll pop one of those bad boys on the fairing. Yeah, I'll throw a nice racetech sticker on the fairing, and then I'll do, man, it's hot. I might do another one, not on the helmet. The helmet literally has one Cruzy Original sticker, and that's it. So what we will do is put shoes on the tripod. So have talk time outdoors. Here we go, kid. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I got a funny story to tell. We'll see if anybody's interested. Sancha. It's too hot. I don't know why I keep putting my hat back on. Probably because I need a haircut. Waiting for my dear friends Lisa Silverwolf and Hey It's the Johnsons to join me. Whew. Man, it's warm. It is a warm one, boy. Holy moly. Alright, I'll bust these guys out very quickly. And then I can kind of show you what's up. If you know anything about front forks, motorcycle content, anything like that, you'll understand what I'm about to bust out. I gotta peel this off for a minute. Man, it's just too hot. Being laced up in a leather and a full face helmet, even in just a quick, how long have we been doing this? 19 minutes. Even just a quick 19 minutes. Whew, got me burning up. I gotta cool down here for a second. Yikes. That took a toll. That took a toll, man. Warm, warm, warm. I'm not complaining at all. It's about September 28th. Yeah, 28th. Yeah, it's still 80-degree days, but this is some of the shit we got going on right now. That being primarily the biggest unveil. And like I said, if you know motorcycles, if you know anything, even dirt bikes, if you like dirt bikes, motorcycles, you like anything about shit that goes fast and rides nice and looks dope, you're gonna know exactly what my content here is gonna entail. So Racetech blessed me with some pretty cool slaps. We got the small version, and then to boot, we got the big Racetech. We got 2 of these each, so those are going to be used well. Definitely a fairing sticker, probably the small one if I could do it somewhere nice. And they got just nice clean stickers. It's all about good looking stickers too. If you got a funky sticker, it almost doesn't make sense. So I threw a little bit of, I know they say don't, but I threw a little bit of, I want to get the right term for it, because I usually just call, when I put shit together, assembly lube, that's what they call it. So I just call it grease. But I popped some assembly lube in this guy last night, and I don't know if you know what this is, but I'll be more than happy to explain. This is called a gold valve emulator. I know it looks like a top. You could probably freaking use it as a top too. It's all brass. It's absolutely dope. So you can see there's 3 little holes in there, and then there's 3 big holes right here. So with those 3 big holes, you can see the 3 little holes on the flip side, which is, I think they call that the top cap. Let me see, I want to get all my parts and pieces right here. They call that the seat. So these are all the parts to a racetech internal. So this seat right here has 3 different holes in it. What this does is this goes inside of your shocks, your front forks. So I got the whole kit and caboodle here. This is going to be dope. I can't install it until I get new bushings, but essentially these are the racetech shocks, and the emulator sits that way. So what this does is this is pretty damn close to a cartridge front end. If you know anything about cartridge forks on your Harley Davidson, racetechs were really big with the dirt bike scene back in the day, and I even thought it was cool. They even embossed a part number on there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it right, 3rd coil down. They embossed their part numbers right on here, which I thought was neat. When this guy goes inside my fork, so I'm replacing everything in that front end, except lowers. It's the only thing I'm not replacing. So I'm not replacing my lowers, but everything else, not replacing my lowers, not replacing my damping rods, but I'm replacing springs. I'm replacing all the couplers, all the pots, all the pieces. This is actually to lower the bike. I won't be using that, but they have some really high quality hardware. But what this does is essentially it only allows so much fluid to go through. So much fork oil, gear oil, hydraulic fluid, ATF, whatever you want to call it. But this is a gold valve emulator. I'm essentially holding, if you don't know what I'm holding, I heard about these. This is like the holy grail. I heard about these guys back in the day. I never put my hands on a set per se. These are a serious item. These are an absolutely serious item. And like I said, they're from Racetech. So Racetech blessed me with some dope shit. I gotta remember who I ordered it from. Not JMP. I ordered it through somebody else. I gotta think about it. But with the emulators, so it's a Racetech, it's a gold valve emulators, and essentially these are all the parts and pieces inside of that emulator I just showed you. So with this guy, these are the parts and pieces and internals that are actually with it. Absolutely sick. Just so friggin' psyched. I can't explain how pumped I am that I actually have a set of Racetech gold valve emulators. I know they look gold, they're not, they're brass, but they call them gold valve emulators. And you can see it says right here, Racetech gold valve cartridge emulator. I don't know what that says. FEGV standard. So you give me a front access code that I can go and punch in my own stuff that will literally dial me up and get my weight, my ride stance, how much I weigh, passenger too, because I can go in, say before a long trip, say I'm going to not just Laconia, which is only about 2 hours away, but say I'm going to Sturgis or Daytona. Excuse me. I can go in and preset, depending on my load, depending on how much I'm throwing on the back, whether it's a passenger or whether it's, I'm packing gear, because I'm just taking the bike out there. People take their Harleys out to Sturgis. Most of them trailer their bikes. Most of them trailer their bikes, or most of them, put them in the back of the van and then just, drive a car out there. Man, if you're going to go to Sturgis, do it the right way. I don't care if you're all the way across the other side of the country like I am, in Boston. Ride your fucking bike out there. But to each their own. Some bikes are trailer queens, which they're $70,000 bike, and all the guy does is bust them out and goes to shows. He goes to Laconia, he goes to Daytona, he goes to Sturgis. There's another one in upstate New York. Can't think of the name of that one, but these gold valve emulators, what I'm trying to say is, depending on how much weight I got on the back, I can change the load. So I can literally change the springs too. They gave me a blue spring, I know it's probably hard to see. But at the very bottom, you can see there's blue on that. There's blue on that spring. And then they gave me yellow springs. So you can see the diameter difference is, it's not a huge difference, but it's significant. But yeah, you can swap these springs out. These springs don't change. These springs stay the same regardless. These are the only springs you can swap out with gold valve emulators. Now, like I said, this is literally the holy grail of motorcycle parts I'm getting for my front end right now. The 2 gold valve emulators, they go in each spring, right? And then there's couplings, there's certain washers you pop with these guys. You got to space them a certain way, so there's about 6 of these small washers in. These guys, I believe, sit in the bottom where my damping rod sits, and then they actually have pots to lower it. So I'm not lowering my bike, I'm raising my bike. I'm raising the front end of my Harley just for the simple fact that I don't want to be bottoming out. I don't want my bike bottoming out on me. I want to be able to have a beautiful, slick front damper with the front of my front forks. I just want them to act nice. I want them to act right. And the only way I can get them to act right is literally spending the dough and getting gold valve emulators to do something like that for me. So this is just an absolute game changer. Just to have these guys and to say, yeah, I got gold valve emulators in my Harley, this is like a game changer. You're going to spend between, now we're going to price point, you're going to spend between $800 and $1,500 to put in cartridges in the front of your forks, and it's super easy peasy. If you got the money like that, I would say go cartridges all day. This whole set cost me no more than $215. Gold valve emulators, the springs, like I said, they give you a ton of hardware, ton of bushings, tons of couplers. They give you these really nice brass bushings, and I'm not even sure what these are, more like couplers, but I'm not even sure what those guys are for. One's to lower your bike, and the other one's to set your rebound. So this is basically just, why is the camera not picking that up? Oh, that's so weird. Okay, because I didn't have it. It's so weird. I'm looking through it and I was like, wait, why can't I see my eye in there? Can't see it unless it's up to the cam like that. All right, let me see if I can. All right, there we go. So these you cut down. So these essentially sit on top of the springs and the emulators, with some bushings. And I'm not absolutely 100% on the process right now because I've only watched a couple videos and done a very small bit of reading. Very, very small bit. But essentially, this is how you set up your whole, it's going to be a ton of work. It's absolutely going to be a shit ton of work. I'm okay with that because I don't mind all this stuff. This is probably going to take me 2 days just on my own. But gold valve emulators are absolutely the way to go. They're 100% the way to go. And like I was saying, if you got a ton of money and you just want to drop in cartridges, awesome. But if you want to set it up, and you can adjust cartridge front forks all day, but if you want to set it up with some really fine tuning stuff, that I've always found for myself that the harder I work at something, the more gratifying it is. If I just want to bing bang boom do something that's just in and done and plug and play and super quick and easy, for one, I like struggling. I've always played the role where it's like you got to do something, it should bust your balls. It shouldn't just be too easy. Even like a broad, like pursuing a chick, right? And say what you will about this, but if a chick's just gonna throw herself at me, I don't want it. I want to be able to chase her. I want that, that cat and mouse a bit, you know what I mean? So this is going to be a shit show to install. This is a ton of different stuff, a ton of different measuring, a ton of different, tweak stuff, and I'll have to do things 2 or 3 times, and that's okay. So this is the damping rod I'm talking about. That's what's inside my forks, and that's the only internal components that are staying inside my forks right now, besides my lowers. Everything else. So this is essentially the fork tube, and then they're just showing you all the internals. And this, as soon as you see this coupling right here, these are your lowers. So you have one nut that comes from the bottom. You have your dampening tube. You have your bottom out. I think it says right there, dampening rod bolt, bottoming cone, and then all your internals. So this dampening rod is in my bike right now, and it's staying there. Lisa, hey, thanks for joining. So with the dampening rod, that's literally the only part that's staying from the existing internals with the front forks. That's it. Everything else is brandy new. And when I say brandy new, I mean brandy new. But there's just gonna be a ton of stuff, man. A ton of stuff I gotta do, a ton of reading, and it's all good. This isn't something, I wouldn't say any novice can take this on, because I would not recommend anybody do this that's not mechanically advanced, not mechanically sound somehow. This is a big deal, and I know it's no small feat. I know this is absolutely gonna bust my balls, but just having the gold valve emulators, I feel like an absolute champ. I've already won, just holding these in my hand. I've already won. Now the fact that it's going to take a whole hell of a lot to get these guys in my bike. But man, once I do, and once I finally, it's going to be like the Holy Grail. Once I finally insert and assemble everything from springs to emulators to couplings to, brass bushings and like all this cool rad shit from Racetech, mind you. Racetech absolutely came through, man. Racetech came through like just shining star. Racetech is absolutely my shining star right now. I can't thank Racetech enough. And the fact that they really go above and beyond to literally just print out everything they do, I think is badass enough. They absolutely hooked this up. So, yeah, man, I definitely got some serious work ahead of me, and I don't have all the parts and pieces yet, so I can't get this process started right now. Gino, what's up, buddy boy? What's up, gang? So, we got parts and pieces from Racetech, gang. Check this out. I am just dumb excited right this second. Just went on a quick rip down the street, as you know, like I like to do so often. So Racetech came through. It's a spring kit. It was made with split rates. I have no idea what that means, but high performance. Made in the USA. See, that's what the hell I'm talking about. Pomona Road, Corona, Cali. There's their number. Just in case anybody wants to check out Racetech for your bike. This is the shit I got. And this is like what's going to set me up to have an absolutely fantastic front end. And when I say a fantastic front end, I mean this front end is going to be so dope. It's just, this is a freaking game changer right now, man. So we'll do this real quick. Get you right in view so you can absolutely see the whole spread, the whole layout. These are called gold valve emulators. And what they do is they restrict and regulate the flow of oil or fork oil. It's really hydraulic fluid or ATF, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it is. There is some red assembly lube in there. I did just because I was doing this and playing with these guys, just because I'm a little kid and I can't help myself. I was playing with these guys just to check how well they were, how flexible they were. When you get a pot, you make sure it's good and intact and it's functioning, and you can work with it and it's going to work for you. But look how much tension's on that already, just from that little Allen. I think the blues are 45. Here, well, matter of fact, I don't have to guess. I can tell you right now. Valve spring rates. Silver, they didn't include because, like I said, this set is already rated for me. I punched in, oops, you can't see what I'm filming here. I punched in all my information, and the fact that said spring rate was made with split rates. That means this guy's already dialed for me. this guy already has, and see the access code? I literally punch this access code in, and they give me more of an in-depth breakdown of how to set these guys up. So the yellow is 64 pounds. You see what I'm shining at here? There we go. The yellow is 64 pounds. There is blue on here. I know you can probably barely tell, but you can see at the very bottom, because I've been handling these guys a ton. I got them 2 days ago, and I don't have all my parts, so that's why I haven't started this process yet. Actually, see that silver in there? That should be covering up the hole. That's what I was trying to do when I was fucking flapping my gums. There we go. So see how now you can not see through there? So this is essentially, you got a hole here. Now look at the top. All right, I'll do it at like the 12 o'clock position since I don't have anything small. Oh, I do have something small as a pointer. Look at that. I got my blade on me from Gino, and yes, it's dirty. I eat with this thing. I say, you know, I want to be a Viking. I really am. So you can see what I'm pointing to inside of here, right? So you can see this top hole. And then this, it's going to take a minute for me to find it, because I'm looking through the camera and looking through, and looking with my eyes. This hole and this hole. All these guys right here stay open. So they show here, here, and here. Basically, either, now let me pull this guy up so I can talk with my hands. Either they restrict the flow, or they, so it's basically compression and rebound, because we all know how springs work, right? Springs work off of compression. You compress the spring. If I was strong enough, I could like crush this guy down, but I'm not. This is meant for a 600-pound Harley, right? So compress the spring and then rebound. Basically, you let it go, right? So what these holes do is they compress the fluid. So you know it's the same principle as like taking your hand and putting your thumb over the end of a garden hose. First you just have a regular weak stream, and then you can make it just soar. So essentially that's what dampening these little tiny holes up does for my fluid, to give me that compression and then rebound. So I'm not very good at explaining stuff, but that's about the best I can do. They kept this one capped. You can drill these out if you want. That's why they put a neat little divot in it. So that way, you know, instead of having a stop punch, they already have it done for you. But these caps you can change. This is called the check plate. No, excuse me, the seat. This is called the seat. Tinker King, you know it. So glad to see you guys, man. I'm glad you guys joined me. Thank you so much. So I can swap this blue out if this blue doesn't do it for me, and pop in the yellow. They only did include 2, which I'm cool with that. But you can also see they did include just a ton of hardware. From inside the box, there's, I didn't tighten this tripod up. My phone almost slid out. So inside the box, we got just couplers and different type of shims. That's essentially what this guy is. That's a shim stack. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 6. We got 6 shim stacks. We got 2 of these that actually go off the top of the spring. Because from right now, if I want to adjust my forks, I'm gonna have to do it internally. I don't have a cartridge type where I could just, you know, do a couple cranks like you can with dirt bikes, or stick in a flathead and go, you know, more compression, more damper, or rebound. They also throw these really kick-ass looking brass guys in, so those stack up pretty neat, all like proper diameter, right? So yes, the Tinker King lives. So this is what I was saying about, you know, how they just threw in a ton of shit. So with these holes being open, this allows a ton of fluid to come through. Now they included this guy. If I decide to pop that guy through and say, and I'm glad that they left that as they did, because say I only want 2 holes showing, there's no way for me to throw a bung in there and seal that back up, right? So I can just punch 2 in. Here, there you go. Give you a better view. Sorry, sometimes I go too fast for my own good, man. If you guys ever need me to slow down, just put like a stop sign emoji, or, you know, just say pump your brakes or something. Because once I get going, man, I'm like, I get so pumped about what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, let me bide my time and not overwhelm you guys with information, because I'm just friggin' stoked on this. So yeah, say I just want to allow two little holes of fluid through, then I can do that, and then just swap the seat out again, and the seat being this part. So I love how they have the whole racetech and the emulator. I love how they have it completely just like broken down in a diagnosis, schematics. May I use that term? So the valving bolt, right? We'll start from the top and work our way down. I guess I'll get move this chair over a bit. I guess I'll get my pointer back out. I just put my pointer away. My pointer being my lovely knife that my dear friend Gino sent me from Hayes to Johnson's. What a hell of a kid. And Lisa, if I may say, Lisa Silverwolf, my other dear friend in the chat right now, absolutely just comes through in the clutch. Just above and beyond what you would expect friends to do. Like, man, I couldn't say how wonderful of a person and how talented with her artwork Lisa Silverwolf is. Man, she is just freaking nuts. So let's go down the itemized list here, or the schematics, if I may. So starting off at the valving bolt. This bolt, as you can see, kind of goes all the way through. Very nice knife. Yeah, he hooked it up. CJRB. It's a little dirty. You got to excuse me. Like I said, I eat with this thing. I don't have any sharpening stones here, so I haven't been able to sharpen it, and it's getting damn dull. But it's D2 steel, which is tool steel. D2. If I can get it to focus. D2 tool steel. All right, let's start at the valving bolt. So it says DVS, CDVS for turns of preload. So essentially, when I want to adjust the preload, I'm going to have to take the forks, literally take the forks apart and go in and adjust this. So I'll probably have to honestly open and close my forks probably 3 or 4 times before I can get her just dialed the way I want to. So the valving bolt, you come in with, I don't know, whatever that is, little Allen, 3 or something. Who knows? Could even be metric. I don't think so, because, like I said, it's made in the U.S. But we got 3 washers. Here I only see 1 washer. And they didn't include any others in this hardware. They included no other washers. So some stuff in these, you can tell they've been using the same, sorry about that. I've been using the same, they've been using the same manual for years, because it says in certain places, you know, some things may be different on your bike, or some things may be different on your setup. So let's go through this shit, man. Let's get this going. I don't know why I keep saying orientation is wacky. I'm not trying to throw anything off here. So valving bolt, 3 washers. Well, I only got 1 washer on here, and then right below it is the spring. So I only see 1 washer. These are the actual valving springs. So these valving springs, CDVS for stiffness. Now, when it says CDVS, this is where I can go online and literally punch in my code, and it will tell me absolutely everything I just bought here and how to dial it in. So that's pretty dope. I really like their, so far, I like their attentiveness to customer service. To me, that tells me that they're willing to help me, because this is kind of not my thing, dude. This is going to be the first time I've ever rebuilt forks, but I have done small things on dirt bikes way back in the day, like early 90s, mid 90s. Besides that, I've never held a gold valve emulator. To me, this is honestly like the Holy Grail. Like, this guy is just the bee's knees right now, man. But, yeah, so down to the valving spring, if I want to, I can swap it out for this yellow one I just showed you. And they gave 2. They gave the blue and the yellow, so the blue is actually on here right now. You can maybe see a little blue down there. There we go. Yeah, you can see a little bit of blue down there. The valving plate, all right, so that was this guy that I showed you with the 3 holes punched out, and then the 1 left remainder. They also included another valving plate that has none. So this guy has no holes punched out, so I can dial it multiple different ways. So it's not just the 50-50 of changing my valve spring from the yellow to the blue. It's also changing the valve plate. So if I feel like this is too much fluid with these 3 holes flowing through my emulator, this being a gold valve emulator, even though it's brass, as we know, gold is soft and it would crumple, right? So I think they just say gold because it looks gold and it looks damn cool. But with this gold valve emulator, that might be not restrictive enough. So that might be too much flow with these 3 holes, you know, pushing fluid down to my fork lowers and then shooting it back up. So with that plate, they gave me another, which was neat. So I can drill out if I choose to. This, see what I was saying? Yours may look different. So they have these set up a bunch of different ways. So what this part is, they call that the seat. So I think this would be the seat. Yeah, this actual outside part right here is the seat, because I can see 1, 2, and 3 holes in there, and they have this semicircle like these guys do here. So from the valve plate, which is this guy, to the seat, which is this guy, we got a check plate, and that check plate is what I was moving a little bit earlier, which is just right inside of here. So that I'm moving right now is called the check plate, and that says you're supposed to have free play in there. Yeah, they say you're supposed to have free play. So when I went and actually pushed this down, you might be able to see if you peek through here. See if I can move this. It's under quite a bit of pressure. Well, I'll tell you, it's under 40 pounds right now. So I check this and move this over. See if you can see it through the bottom. There you go. You can see it coming in and out. Well, that's how it adjusts for fluid. So it pushes fluid in, pushes fluid out. And that whole time, it's restricted. So almost like a restrictor plate in racing NASCAR, if you know what I'm talking about. So the check plate, that's this guy. I don't know if I can adjust those. I think these are the only ones they supplied. So I think those are the only check plates I can adjust. I believe I'm just stuck with those ones. That's why they give you so many other cool things that you can tinker with. And you can really do your fine-tune adjustments. Check spring, I didn't take this apart, but if you see if we can zoom. Yep, you can see a spring right down underneath that check plate. So you may not be able to see many, but if you peek right down inside of here, yep, there you go. You can see about 3 or 4 coils of springs in there. Okay, so that is check spring. And then the base would actually be this. All right, so I confused the seat for the base. So this would be the seat. This is my actual seat here. Oh, I really got to hold on to this guy. It's under, well, let's see. We got the blue ones on, right? So it's under 40 pounds of pressure. The yellow ones would give me 64 pounds of pressure. Okay, so yeah, the seat and the base, I reversed. So that would be the seat, and then this is my actual base. And then you just got the lock nut at the very bottom, and that's it. That's a full breakdown of a Racetech emulator. Mad love to you guys, man. Mad love to you guys. You guys are just the best. Okay, so see how it slid off again? What was that? The check plate. So since I moved it and I kind of cocked it on an angle like this, I moved it and that whole check plate slid this way. Now that's going to screw up how much fluid's coming in and out. So that is something I got to get. There we go. So just a couple times by pumping it like that, you can kind of get it square again. But like I said, and what they're telling me is I also have to be mindful that there's supposed to be free play in there. So, yep, still free play. It really doesn't slide around. It probably has a damn good seal on the inside of that seat, right? But it definitely, once you pump the spring like I was doing, it definitely, you can move it to where it hops up and then, you know, moves off to the left or right. But man, am I just friggin' pumped. I am absolutely pumped. Got the gold valve emulators. You can see I've barely touched this one. Look at all the blue still on the spring. And then this guy, I've almost worn him bare. Yeah, just from playing. Oh, actually, look. So you can see the difference. See the check plates perfectly seated on my right hand? And see how it's off on my left? Let's get her seated again. There we go. One quick little pump. Boop. And it pumps all by itself. The fact that there's all this pressure coming from the top of my spring now. Let me zoom out and do this. Or maybe I can do it this way. So let's do this. So I do have my forks upstairs. I left those up because there's no need to bring them down. Essentially, if you watched the live stream last night, or excuse me, Friday night. Yeah, today's Sunday. Friday night, I brought my fork down and I just measured it up to my existing forks on the bike right now. So there's no need. But if I was to take this spring, drop it into my fork, the gold valve emulator sits like this, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pop my stickers back in here so I don't. Yep, so this guy goes up. And then, oh no, excuse me. So it's the emulator that goes down on my dampening rod. The dampening rod sits at the very bottom of your lower control arm. I was just talking to somebody about control arms. It sits on the very bottom of your lowers. So you have fork uppers and fork lowers. It's two pieces that kind of literally, excuse me, B, I don't want to screw your day up, man. It kind of rides like this inside. Pretend my hand is 25.5 inches long, and this is my actual fork, right? So your springs go inside. Well, the gold valve emulator goes on the very bottom, and it sits on this thing called a dampening rod. Now the dampening rod, to show you one more quick time, I'm gonna have to do it this way because I want to be able to actually show you what the hell I'm talking about. This guy right here that looks like a rod, that's the dampening rod. And you can see it says damping rod right there. So that damping rod, the gold valve emulator sits on top of the damping rod. That damping rod is the only thing that's still stock in my lowers, or that will be. My lowers are not taken apart. My forks, period, are not taken apart yet for the simple fact that I literally just ran down to the store and back. So what I was saying about that is this is how this guy's going together, and I'm just going to do it really quick and really. I got a yellow jacket right next to me, and I don't want to ruin his day. Let's see if he's on my elbow. You see him? I don't want him to sting me, but I don't want to screw his day up either. Here he is. I'm not afraid of bees or yellow jackets like that, but I don't like killing anything small, man. Why be a bully, right? So, dampening rod, gold valve emulator, spring on top of dampening rod, and you can see that makes a really nice mating surface right there. See if I can get my freaking sausage fingers out of there. That makes a really nice mating surface all the way around. So fluid's flowing in between, through your whole shocks, through your whole forks. Shocks are rear, forks are front. So there is fluid flowing all in and around all these parts. So with that being there, one of these guys goes on top, and then that kind of, it's almost like stepping everything down. This is going to make the pressure of the fluid inside of my shock even lesser, right? Because it's just tiny, tiny, small increments. Well, now you can see inside of there with that, excuse me, yellow jacket, with that check plate, right? That's only going to allow so much fluid in, and then it literally is coming out of those three holes that I was just showing you from the valve plate. Oh, no, you don't, mister. Don't even fucking think about it. Yellow jacket's trying to go in my twisted T, man. So it literally, it's a huge process and more mechanical than I am good about talking about it, because I suck at talking about shit like this. But what it is essentially is, imagine being a plumber and taking a pipe this big, a half mile away, and then on the other end, having a pipe that's just a 1/4 inch. So imagine all that pressure just alone, no pump at the end or nothing. And imagine all the pressure from going into a 4 or 5 inch pipe down into a 1/4 inch pipe. It's going to be just flying out the other end from the simple fact of physics. We're talking big stuff here now. And it's just from creating pressure. Well, essentially, that's how this guy works. And not having a pump in the bottom of your forks, you know, or even like a sump pump in a car or in somebody's basement where, you know, flushes that fluid around. It's not like a mechanical pump, it's physics. It's a pump of pressure. So it's taking something really big and then something really small and compressing that pressure. And you have, you know, your rebound, like I said, your rebound, and then your compression. Well, that's what essentially makes this system that I can lean on my handlebars and it will push back, right? That's what gives you that flex. That's what I think is really cool about the emulators. I think the guy that created these, and I watched a video about the actual creator at Racetech that made these guys, man, he got a brilliant mind, and the dude knows how to talk. I'm not good at explaining shit like this. Maybe if I made them or built them or created them, I would have a better understanding of it, but man, I just know from bikes I've seen, they work, and they work the nuts. This is, like I said, this is one of the better kits that I've seen besides a solid cartridge, which solid cartridges cost you $700, $800, $900, all the way up to like $1,500. So that's nothing I can afford. I'm not a wealthy man. You know, going out on a limb here, buying these guys, just the Racetech internals alone, were like 200 and something bucks. And for me, that was hella reasonable. That was like real reasonable. Considering I know, you know, how much, I know the results of what I can get from these guys. Because I had a buddy way back in the day that built a set of dirt bike Racetechs. He used gold valve emulators inside of his dirt bike. And man, what a day and night difference. Just day and night. I was blown away from, I want to say it was like a YZ 125, a YZ 250, something like that. It was Suzuki. And boy, just him installing the springs and the gold valve emulators, like day and night. And when I say day and night, I'm not even kidding. From wicked sloppy that you could just, you know, absolutely slam the bars right down to almost like a, what do they call that? Like the rally trucks. You know, the trucks like in Mexico and shit, the Baja trucks that do all the crazy long jumps, and they have like this long ride extension, long ride compression, long travel suspension. That's what it is, long travel suspension. So when you see those guys jump, they land like a feather. That's what this guy has the potential to do for me. So that's why I'm just pumped beyond all belief. Like this is going to be a fucking game changer, man. And since, like I said, I don't have the dough to get, because you can buy sets like this, so you just drop in your forks, throw your cap on, and they give you a new cap for it, and then you just adjust them. You know, set it from 9 to 1, and you go, oh, today I want to rock it at like a 6. Done. But that also, you know, think about the work it takes to just drop a set of forks in. Nothing, right? I gotta build these guys. I gotta build my front end. I literally have to build my forks. So that's a big difference, man. That's a big change, and like I said, I like putting in work. I like working on my bike. I like doing shit, and then after the fact, it'll be like, yeah, dude, I built that. I built that whole front end. Racetech emulators, new dampener rod. Well, it's the same dampener rod, but you know, new springs, and these springs alone are like pricey. And believe you me, I did a shitload of homework looking to see which was the best set for me, for my weight, for my riding style, because I'm not riding a track. I'm riding on the road, and I kind of ride a little aggressive, but you know, if you don't ride a highly aggressive, then you're just either an old timer or you're no fun. You're a fuddy-dud. So I find, you know, that this would be catered to me, the best, the best set I possibly could have. and I'm stoked. I'm stoked. It's going to take a while. It's definitely going to take probably 2 or 3 days. I still don't have all the parts. I'm still missing a couple tools. There are things that there's one long Allen that I have to wait for, but it's the Allen screw that goes. Matter of fact, it's the Allen head bolt that goes in the bottom of the dampening rod, and it's way up in the bottom of the lowers. So I need at least like a 6-inch extension to even get that guy out, which I don't have. And as you know, I don't have any of my tools here. I don't have my micrometer, which my calipers, because you can't throw a tape measure down, because you have to measure how much fluid you're going to pour inside of that. You need a micrometer or a caliper, a machinist tool to measure, the top of this to the bottom of that, and it's involved. As you saw, it's extremely involved process, but at the same time, it's dope. This is the best chance I have to have a good solid front end. Oh no, I gotta go grab my charger. 15% battery. Shit. You guys hang tight, I'll grab my charger. I didn't realize I was running that low that quick. Wait, that took no time. Golly. Be right back. Have to move yous on this side because that's the only place I can plug yous in and have you still attached. All right, what do we got? Let's see. How much battery we got? 14%. Why did it lie to me? Oh, it said 15. That's right. I was gonna say, why did it lie to me and tell me 5%? But it wasn't 5. It was 15, right? Okay. Why that's not working. Why is that guy not plugged in? Am I not, do I have to hit a reset? Here we go, I had to hit the reset button. So if you ever stick in a plug and it's not working, let me show you real quick why. So there's a test, a reset button. Sometimes when the power gets tripped, and Gino, I know you know what's up, at least you probably know what's up. I'm kind of just doing this for the viewers, but the reset, don't do what I do, just understand why I do what I do. So I'm just pointing, I'm not sticking this inside. That's the reset, that's the test. So I just hit it so it tests. Now I hit it so it reset. If you ever go and plug something in and it's not working, before you go downstairs and flip your breakers, try hitting the reset. So that's literally all it took, because with a lot of outside plugs like this, they're called GFI plugs, and what they are, they're ground. So they essentially have a ground on it that if water or something gets in there, it prevents it from arcing out. So I have to do this. I have to move this chair back just to here. Here we go, uppity. Okay. But man, oh man, what a cool thing. What a freaking cool thing. I am just so excited about this, about these damn gold valve emulators, man. I can't say enough cool shit about them, and just how bloody excited I am. I am just beside myself, like, if you can't tell already. All right, let me go back and read what you guys are chatting about. I know most of the time, and it's all gravy. I appreciate that you guys. I know it, Lisa. That's why I need a haircut. That's why I keep my hair, dude. I'm wicked salt and pepper. But that's why I keep my hair so short, is because friggin' gray's coming through. 45 hit like a train. 45 hit me like that. Like, wow, where did that come from? Holy shit. So, where was I? You know what? I probably pop these right up on the chair. Here we go. Pop these up on the chair. Give you a better view. Close the bottom of this tripod just to here. So this was the set. This was the set that you saw me sanding, and I sanded the shit out of it. It took me like 2 days to sand this whole set. So there's a couple chairs you can see over there. Chair here, chair here. The chair you're on, and then the chair I'm sitting in. But this was the, what do you call it? Like a cast iron, like rod iron. The rod iron set that I wound up redoing. This guy looked so old. I kind of took some before and afters, but I had to come through here and actually sand the shit out of it. Then I think I hit it with like 2 or 3 coats, and then I clear coated, and I just did the front wrought iron, the railings. Came out beautifully, man. Absolutely beautifully. So let me come through here and respond to you guys what I was saying. But Lisa, you're dead on with that. That's why I keep it so short, so you can't tell how gray I am, man. Let me come through here and shoot the shit with you guys. I like that you guys, you know, talk in the comments, because I'm always just flapping my gums. But at the same time, I feel like I'm ignoring you. Nice knife. The hammer looks awesome. Very happy it came out. Yes, your Mjolnir that Lisa made for you. New icon. Friggin' love it. So good. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Lisa's so good with that stuff, man. Just so good. Kind of like a high-tech thermostat. Yeah. Yep, with that, with the pressure. Exactly. Hydromechanics, beautiful thing. Martha Stewart or Harley. I don't know. Can I be more like the Dr. Doolittle of Harleys or something? Well, Martha Stewart did do time, so that makes sense. She did time in the feds, though. I didn't do time in the feds. I just did time in the state. Yeah, I'd rather be, let's see, who can I somewhat motto myself after? Who can I, you know, jokingly say I somewhat resemble? Let me see, the hydromechanics. Mr. Wizard? Can I be like a novice Mr. Wizard of Harleys? I don't know as much as I pretend I do, I assure you. I know enough to get me by. I'm no whiz at all. I am no whiz kid when it comes to Harleys, man. I knew what my old man taught me coming up, so that's, and he knew a good bit, but he didn't know everything. But, yeah, I'd like to be a guy version instead of Martha Stewart of hydromechanics and Harley knowledge. But I know you were headed with that. I know you were headed. At least I'm not 5'4". Yeah. Oh, 54. Yes. At least I'm not 4'8" either, Lisa. At least I'm not a dwarf, right? You know what's funny about these? I don't know if you ever noticed. Can you see that? That is a proper one, a Beantown bee. As you know, if you have one, if you're lucky enough to score one of these from me, which, Gino, I don't know if you got any of these. I know Lisa did. I know Jim Crosby did. I know my buddy Timmy did. Knives to meet you. I don't know if you got one of these, Gino, but sometimes I'll spot these and not even realize, but that's a perfect Red Sox bee right there. And that's a Beantown Bushcraft bee. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm going to try to score some more of these. Man, they were awful hard to get. And when I sold out, people were bummed. They're like, oh, those are awesome. I probably wash these guys once a week because I'm constantly wiping my brow with them. And when I'm out in public, I do blow my snot box with them too. At least I'm not 54. That is true. I'm the opposite. I'm 45. And I got a birthday coming up just next month here. I used to enjoy being a Samhain baby when I was a kid. I always thought that was kind of cool, man. Yeah, I got a bunch more pots upstairs. I didn't bother to bring them down. I didn't think it was necessary. you guys will see all that once I really unveil everything. But I didn't think bringing all those extra parts. There's some cool like they have a tool for the forks, so you're able to pack all these seals and bearings. Actually, the kit I don't have yet. Pack all the seals. There's like these little locking nuts that prevents the spring from shooting out the top of the fork itself. In like all your internals, they have this wicked cool locking tool, which that should have been something that I kind of should have went over. I think I did just a quick video or a quick live of it Friday night maybe. I did a quick unboxing. That was cool. Those were really necessary. There was a 45. So what it is, it's a seal driver. So to drive all your seals down inside. So, you know, people say, oh man, my seals are leaking on my forks. That's right. That's why. Things like that. So the seal drive is really cool. It has these two parts that twist and then line up. And it seemed to be one of the better ones. But I also, you know, being as Irish as I am, I always find ways to find something that's proper quality, but it's a little less from, you know, even like the really good ones. I very rarely ever buy the best of everything, or the best of anything. I always try to find, because I'm, you know, being Irish, it's inherent, but I always try to find deals. I won't go and buy the cheapest of anything, especially when it's dealing with me on my safety forks, right, front end. You know, I won't do stuff like that, but when it came to the racetech set, it was like, nope, I'm going with like the really, really nice stuff because it's just necessary. It's 100% necessary, and it's not something I wanna cut corners on at all. It's something that's, you know, gonna keep me safe, gonna be awesome, because eventually I want to I want to be one of these guys. I want to be like Dynagang. I want to be like, you know, one of those wheelie dudes. That's the ultimate thing of what I want to do with this bike. Now, I don't want to beat the ever-living shit out of it like guys that do the rev bombs or whatever you call them, the rev limiters. They call them rev limiters. So you can't do that right now with my bike anyways, because I don't have essentially it's like a CPU. Thundermax makes one. I can't think of, the name is slipping me right now. But essentially it prevents your RPMs from just doing 9,000 or whatever Harleys go to. I only have a tack on there. I don't have an RPM gauge, so the Dyna lowriders have that. That's why sometimes you'll see two clusters on the front by your handlebars and the top of your risers. You'll see two. Well, I only have one, and that's just my speedo gauge. But yeah, it prevents your RPMs from going, you know, through the roof. It's kind of a stunt thing. It's like what stunt bike kids do. We got one more in here right now. Very nice. Hi, Lisa and Murph. Lost internet. Wait, me? I lost internet? Or you lost internet? Hold on a second here. Hold on. Lisa, you lost internet or I lost internet? Because I'm running on my data right now. I'm not even running on the house. Shit, if we lost internet, that would absolutely suck. Did we lose a connection here? Oh no. Oh, shitballs. Yeah, I saw it went down to 1. And I didn't know if it was you, Gino, or Lisa in here. Now we got 3s. We got 3 peeps on here. Oh, bummer. Lisa, come on, come back. Because I'm running on data. Whenever I try to do this, especially when I'm down in the basement, I always try to put my data on the phone instead of running Wi-Fi. Because the Wi-Fi here, as you know, in the basement, it just gets wonky, man. It kicks out. It kicks out depending on where in the garage I go. You got to think, you know, there's 3 different floors of the house that can impede the whole process of Wi-Fi. But yeah, I always try to just rip my data so stuff like that doesn't happen. Gino, I appreciate you. Always appreciate you, my friend. Here's another thing that came through with this racetech. This isn't anything terribly crucial, but this is essentially just a giant spacer. So what they mean for you to do is to cut 2 of them. Most of them that I've seen, it's just like a poly PVC. What I've seen is this is essentially, oh, and that end's actually not even square. I should mark something off that. I am, just real quick, just so I know that's not a square end. So I'll just put a V on that, just so I know that, yeah, that one's a bit better. But I always square my stuff up anyways. Like, I know you probably know, getting material from Home Depot, you always square your stuff off before you proper cut and measure, right? So I would probably take just an 1/8 of an inch off of that guy, and then just cut a tiny little biscuit off it, so I know I am square. I know I'm starting with good material. That's what I was taught long time ago in the carpentry trade, is, you know, always square your material off, because you're never going to have a straight 90 from factory, from Home Depot, even from a good reputable lumber yard. They never give you, you know, the best material. They give you good stuff, but not the best. So that being said, I always, most of the time it's not with a table saw, right? It's with a chop saw. And I'll just take just a squidge off, just a tiny bit, just so I'm working with a proper end. But what I was saying is, this is essentially, once it goes on, once my spring and my emulators and my dampening rod are all kind of stacked on top of one another, just like this, so to speak. Just like this guy inside of my fork. So once everything's set up just like that, like I said, dampening rod, you top out bottom springs, so your dampening rod doesn't punch through the bottom of your forks. Essentially, once I have my dampening rod, my gold valve emulator actually set up in there, and then my spring sits on top of the rod, that spacer right there is essentially what this guy is. And I've seen people use just PVC, and that's fine too. You can absolutely do that. You just got to have the right ID and OD. So OD being outside diameter, ID being inside diameter. So you have to make sure, you know, everything just lines up to your specs, to your ramifications, to what you're using it for in your content, your context. So what I was saying, I looked at this, and that's squirrel. That's what got me distracted. I'm like, oh man, that's not even, I don't know if you can tell, but you probably can't. But that's not even squared off. It's high on one side. It's probably just vaguely, but I got a carpenter's eye, so, you know, I can spot stuff that's not 100%. That one you might be able to tell right there. You see the V I put on it? Just pop that in just so I know if I decide to cut from that side's not the square side. Yeah, you can see right there. So you've got a high side here and a low side here, just to know. But what this guy is essentially, it's just so when I put my top cap on and call it a day, so you're supposed to have, from here to here, you're supposed to have a certain amount of fluid. So when I was mentioning earlier about calipers and micrometer and stuff like that, I have to go down here and measure, and this is before this space is ever even in there, but I have to go down here from my top of my fork and measure the bottom of the fluid line, because you put so much in, you measure the bottom of the fluid, because, you know, once you add stuff, so you have a half full cup, put 3 ice cubes in, it's going to bring that water level right up to the top, right? All right, cool, you with me? Once you put the fork fluid, the fork oil, hydraulic fluid, ATF, whatever you want to call it, and I ordered the good shit. It's fucking it was $66 for 2 quarts. Dude, 2 quarts. It's like, you know, a quart of oil. That's fucking expensive shit. You know what? It's the best. 20 weight, and I ordered from Cruzy Original. So that's like the best shit. So anyways, you go in with micrometers, because there's no way you're putting a tape. You're not putting a tape measure. Those tape measures on the end are 1.5 inches wide. You're not putting a tape measure in something that's 49 millimeters. So once I go down here and measure my oil line, how much fluid I just dumped in my forks, that tells me how big I am to cut my spacer. So what it essentially does, and this is what I've read, is it sets my preload. Makes sense now, right? So I thought this was cool that they even threw that in there. You know, for 200 something bucks, they oughta, right? Because they put in all the other good shit. They put in, you know, all the spaces, they even hooked me up with some dope slaps, which I'm just beside myself about because I'm a retard when it comes to slaps, man. I just love my slaps. Hooked me up with 2 big ones and 2 small ones. So yeah, those will be going someplace good. Not on the helmet or anywhere goofy, but they'll definitely be going on somewhere cool. They blessed me with 2 big ones and 2 small ones. The other one's in there somewhere, but yeah, when it comes to all these guys coming in, you know, all the different bushings. Oh, I definitely just glitched out there for a second. Squared off. It blessed me with all the good brass hardware. Now, I'm not sure if this is for lowering or what, but I also read that somewhere through here, because I told you I read a ton when I was trying to figure out who sold the best non-cartridge buildable front forks. It was Racetech, and then Racetech with the emulators. And I told you I knew a buddy of mine, rebuilt years ago with emulators, and then of course I looked it up. Excuse me. I looked it up and saw how I can get a really kick-ass front fork setup with spending, you know, minimal amount of dough, but not just order some crap off of eBay. So essentially, that's how that cookie crumbled. We figured that out. I figured that out that way, and then, you know, asking buddies, and most of my buddies, you know, are pretty well off, and they got their bikes dialed just so. So like, Murph, just order cartridges, man. I'm like, you know, I'm not spending $700 on front fork. I could think of that $700 and spend that. I could allocate that dough elsewhere, right? Lisa, you back? Come back, Lisa. Lisa, come back. Come back. I could think of way better ways to spend that $700. First thing would be like a chain conversion kit. Get rid of that stupid belt, throw a chain on there. With that, I have to open up my primary and change sprockets, 25, 55, just this. I have big dreams for this bike, man. Big dreams. And it's just right now, it's like baby steps, you know what I mean? Just baby steps, man. I got to do just little bits at a time. Absolutely excited, totally stoked, but at the same time, it's like, I gotta do little stuff. I gotta do just stuff that's gonna get me by and safely for right now. I think that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Always square, yeah. Companies only sell crooked shit anymore. Most of the time, man, 100%. You go to Home Depot, you go look at the 2x4 pile, straight banana sticks, dude. Not 8 out of 10 of them. Even my good local lumberyard right down the street, Monahan Lumber, really good company. Been dealing with them for 25 years plus. You know, even them I shouldn't say once in a while. It's like, you know, once every 3 or 4 with them. It's I'm like, damn, dude, what am I gonna, you know, build a boomerang with that thing? Like, just, it's madness. It's absolute madness that lumber companies even sell crap like that without just putting it in a shit pile. Like, dude, just put that thing in a shit pile. Don't bother trying to sell that to, you know, some poor soul that's, you know, just a weekend guy, right? Like trying to build a shed in his backyard or something. Like, you know, never mind contractors coming in there that are like just starting out or don't know no better, and they're buying all this crooked material. It's like, fucking hell, man. You know, setting people up for failure, you know what I mean? I get it. It's a big outfit, you know, a big company, like, you know, they're just trying to make dough like everybody else, but it'd be like me selling somebody inferior, like, you know, a Mjolnir out of plywood, or like just something stupid, you know? I don't know. It's maybe because I'm not a big company. It's just, I couldn't do it. It wouldn't sit right here, you know? I wouldn't want somebody to walk around that I wouldn't be comfortable or that I wouldn't be proud walking around with. If somebody's going to take their time to order something from me, it's like, dude, I'm going to do my absolute best like I was making it for my kid. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I was raised. You just, you know, my old man used to say, if it's worth doing, do it right. Do it with everything you got. You know, put 115% into it. Because if you just half-ass anything, you know, your work speaks for you. Your work says, you know, who you are as a person. So if your work sucks, you know, you suck. You know what I mean? So I don't want to go off on a tangent, but yeah, man, these guys are just game changers. Absolute game changers. I am absolutely stoked on the Buddy's out at the dog park right now. Yeah, I wish he was here, you know, just hanging out with me, but he's out at the dog park going for a proper run, which I'm glad. You know, I play with him like a madman around the house as well as I can and run him up the street, and we even take hikes down to Walgreens sometimes, which is probably a solid mile away, so we do like a 2-mile run, but yeah, Buddy's out at the dog park fetching sticks and balls right now, running 1,000,000 miles an hour. So I'm just dope psyched how these guys are. And I did throw a little assembly lube in there, like I said. That's another thing I got. So I was talking about it's almost like a hammer tool. You use it with force to set your seals. So in that package, I got assembly lube. I got the seal driver, they call it. It's a little bit wider at the top than it is the bottom, and then you can take it and flip it. So if I was using it this way to drive seals, you take it this way and flip it. So you have the wide side down now, and you use that for 2 different seals, which I think is kind of cool. I love multi-purpose stuff, and most people in the bushcraft genre do. Like if I have one tool, it's just for one thing, that's cool. But I'd rather have one tool that's good for 3 different things, you know? That's what, like, fires me up. That's what makes me go, hell yeah. So I can use this for a bearing block and for flint and steel, and I'm thinking of one tool specific, but without sidetracking myself, I got assembly lube. I got the slide. It's to set your seals, and you flip it upside down, you actually set your dust seal. So the dust seal, I don't even know if the dust seal's on here, but essentially when your motorcycle is leaking, let's see if we can find, yeah, dust seal is right here. So hopefully that's coming up. Let's see, which one is it? First one down, right there. Hopefully that's picking up. You can see that. That dust seal is just a great big rubber that sits around the top of your, hopefully that's, maybe if I zoom in a bit, there we go. Dust seal. So the very first thing right there, the dust seal. So the clip, see the clip underneath that? That's a metal clip. So there's like 4 things just in this small area. I'll read them off to you. Dust seal, clip, oil seal, seal washer, and outer bushing. Those are the things I got on order right now. Coming from is it JP Cycles? I don't know. It's one of those. I'll tag them in the, once I get all this shit together, I'll tag them in the comments. But the dust seal is basically like a big rubber O-ring that prevents any contaminants from going inside your flux. Because most people park their bike outside, right? Like where it's going to rain and shit. You know, even dirt, sand, any dirt kicked up in the air. But that dust seal is cool because, and this is why I'll explain, is because the seal driver that I told you about, once you flip it around, it's wider, so you can pack your seals and your clips and your O-rings and all that shit tight around your flux, but you can pop the dust seal down with it too, so you don't need a secondary tool, which I thought was awesome. So I was like, dude, that's cool as hell. So I got assembly lube in the last package I got. That was from JP Cycles. I got assembly lube. Oh, the top nut cap. So that's an 1 3/8 inches. If you're working on your forks, the last thing you want to do is put channel locks on a dust cap. The top nut, and try to loosen that guy. It's just like, ugh. For one, you're gonna mar the surface, because even a monkey wrench, a pipe wrench wouldn't work good on it. Lisa back yet? Son of a gun. I bet she's trying to, the Tinker King's tools. I bet she's trying to log on like a maniac right now. Poor doll. Yeah, I thought it was me that lost it for a second. But yeah, if you try to take your top cap off of your 49mm forks, like which was I got, so choppers primarily have 41mm. Earlier diners and sportsmans have 39mm forks, and I have the biggest ones from my bike, Dyna, and touring, which is like full dresses, FLHs, street glides, sport glides, bikes like that. Those have 49mm forks, so we have the bigger forks, which I was super psyched to grab my Dyna as it is, just because it's a dope bike to me. But the fact that I have the big chunky forks too, that right there just absolutely sent me through a roof. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. It's just a better suspension, it's a better feel, it's a better ride. I know, Lisa, come back. So if you try to pop your top caps of your fork, one, it's under pressure, like I said, with cutting this black shim on top of all the fluid. The spring doesn't go right up to the top cap, so that's no big deal. But with all the fluid in, and then the spring, and then you use this guy to kind of push it down, and you only cut about 4, 5, 6 inches off, depending on your setup. It depends on everything. That's setting your preload. But at any rate, it's under pressure. So when you put that top cap on, you got to put it on with force. You're putting it on under pressure. So by putting it on under pressure, you have to take into consideration, if you try to get channel locks on that, dude, it's like an octagon. I think there's 8 sides on a top cap, and they're very shallow. Like, it's super shallow. It's not like a regular nut that has like a good head to bite onto. They're wicked shallow. I want to say they're less than like a 1/4 inch, but you've got to get like the right tool to get on there. So that's why I broke down and I ordered, it was like $16, man. I ordered a fairly cheap one. I'll bust that out. I might even do a tool review later, and I'll bust everything I have out. I think that's what I'll do. It's beautiful out right now, right? So I'm just enjoying the yard. I'm enjoying how nice it is out here. It's an absolute freaking gorgeous day, man. Let me send yous all the way up. I love this new tripod because it telescopes up to 62 inches. So hang on, I'll give you the good view. I'm not even in frame. I love that. That thing is like totally above my noggin right now. All right, so this is why I'm out here and enjoying the deck as much as I am, because one, it's just beautiful out. It's a beautiful day, and every chance I know you and Mrs. K are the absolute same. Any chance you guys have to get outside, you're all about it. So I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth. That's just me, and you've rolled with me long enough. You know exactly how I operate. So that's what I'll do later. Is I'll take everything that I got besides just my racetech shit, and I'll go down. Hopefully we have good service. I'll go down in the basement, go down in the garage later, and I'll lay out everything on the bench, and I'll show all the new tools I got to open this up. Like I said, I'm missing 2 things. That's why I haven't gotten this process cracking yet today. And I ordered one last night, but I ordered a 2-day delivery, so hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully it gets here by Tuesday. That was a long 8 or 9mm Allen that goes through the bottom of your fork lower. And the lower is wider than the upper. Unless you have an inverted front end, then your upper's wider than your lower. your lower looks like my upper forks. At any rate, the assembly lube, the 1 3/8 top nut, it's literally a driver. It's just you hook a 3/8 ratchet up to it and just crack that puppy loose. It's going to be so much easier because, like I said, those guys are under tension. All right, cool. Now I'm wrapping this. Now I'm bringing this full circle. So the top 3/8 inch cap for my 49 mil front end, that actual wrench, it's like a socket cap. That socket cap is going to be just come in invaluable because, like I said, it's all under pressure. So last thing I want to do is get a pair of channel locks or like a monkey wrench with those aggressive teeth. Oh, it's the last thing I want to do to bite onto that. And then maybe mar my surface up. It'll be all bad. I'll have to go and order new top caps, and that's the last thing I want to do. So most of the time I try to order good solid parts, but I do cut corners every chance I get. So like, you know, I'll order through JP Cycles, who I order through a lot, and they've been good. I'm on this plan with them. It was like an extra $30, and I had a couple $100, you know, I was working last month doing this house, matter of fact, and I had some dough rolling in, so I'm sending, you know, dough out to people that you know, I want to get right with, and it is what it is. But yeah, I made sure I grabbed some good parts. I grabbed like the fairing, I grabbed the parking lot punk sliders. I grabbed the very first thing I grabbed for the bike. It was two things. I grabbed that front fairing. Before I even had the bike, I ordered the front fairing, and I grabbed my red MX pegs. So those were dope. I was like, that's a must, man. But yeah, I grabbed those guys, and the pegs were really, really reasonable. I think those pegs were like $38, and if you order those through Flow Moto, dude, they're like $180. So I tried to order, you know, where I can cut corners, I'll try to order parts that won't break the bank. For one, I don't have it like that. For two, I just, you know, MX pegs aren't something that's mechanically sound. You know, it's not like buying, like if I was to buy a good cam for that, I wouldn't buy something that's shitty. I wouldn't buy Chinese crap, right? I buy stuff that's reputable from a good company that's going to cost me $200 or $300 to do a cam plate. And then since I have the twin cam, because it's a Super Glide, 06 Super Glide FX DCI, I would order a cam plate. I do the whole cam, so it's like gasket, plate, all your spacers, all your hardware, and then your two cams. So the cams sit like this. They kind of sit off center a little bit. And essentially it's just lobes and teeth. That's all it is, like a sprocket and then lobes. And that's what your lifters ride, your tubes ride off of, and they go up into your valves, and your top heads, your 45-degree heads like this, with your lifters, and that's essentially what move your lifters and your rocker arms. And that alone is like, I could do cams, but that's a little above my pay grade. That's something that I would need a homeboy down here to help me out with, because he's fantastic with that. I watched this kid rebuild a whole motor from frame up, and I was just like, it just blew my mind. I was like, wow. I mean, he hooked up a NOS system, like all kinds of really cool shit. It was an R1 that he built. There wasn't a Harley or nothing, but dude, it was dope. This is like early 2000, 98, 99, 2000. That's another story for another time, but that was the very first time I ever went down New England Dragway, Epping, New Hampshire. That was a blast. Didn't even have my own gear. I'll tell that story another time, but yep, I went down on a Triumph 996, I believe it was, or 966, one of those. It was bright yellow. I must have looked like a fucking killer bee going down there or something. But I went down with my buddy's gear, because I didn't anticipate riding. I didn't anticipate going down at all. That was not my thing. I went to go watch my homeboys go down the track and run some good laps after a new NOS system was put in, new nitro system was put in, with all the lines and they almost have like fuel injectors that go in, and that's what shoots out the gas and then shoots it into
air fuel mixture. But man, was that just cool as shit. R1, big stretch swing arm, huge fatty rear tire. It was awesome. But my buddy went up to go race him with a Triumph Daytona. It was in 966 or 996, I don't remember. Awful long time ago. But he's a great big kid. He's probably 6'4". I'm 5'11", 6 feet. I'm like 6'1" in boots, so I like to say I'm 6 feet. I'm probably an inch shorter than 6 feet, but it is what it is. I'm 5'11" barefoot. So he's like 6'3", 6'4", 330 pounds. Kid's just a tank. So he asked me, he goes, Murph, he goes, you want to go down the track? You want to take a rip? I'm like, you fucking kidding me, dude? I was like, yeah, of course, but I didn't bring any gear. He goes, you can wear my boots. I got no leather. I got no gloves. I'm not going 140 miles an hour without at least helmet leather gloves. He goes, you can wear mine. Dude, I must have looked like a parachute with his freaking leather on. It was a brown leather too, like, fuck's sake. But his gloves, his mitts are like twice the size of mine. His gloves, his boots, he was like a size 13. I'm like a 10 and a half. It was just it was a debacle. I'm lucky I didn't eat shit, but I made a smooth pass. My buddy smoked me with his nitrous fueled R1, but it was just a fun day. It was the first and only time I've ever gone down a track and did a quarter mile. I think I did like a $1:38. I want to say $1:36, $1:38 is about as fast as I ran that, but off the line, we were pretty damn close. I want to say third gear, he started to break away from me, and I'm in the left lane, he's in the right lane. Like I said, I never went down a track ever in my life. Never, not once. And I didn't even know how the tree went. Red, yellow, green. I had no fucking clue. But hey man, I went for it because I've been riding since I was this big. So I was like, you're going to give me an opportunity to go down a track in a quarter mile? Fuck yeah, dude. Say less. Absolutely. Send it, kid. So it was a blast. We ripped it, but I'm still here to talk about it. So, and that was, I want to say pre 9/11. That was like 99, 2000. So just a couple. I'm from New England. I know. Aigbab. Fucking Aigbab. You can't see this shit himself. No, right? I know. I probably looked like a turd going down on a fucking bright yellow Triumph. It was a rad bike, though. I'll tell you what. He did have a very cool bike. He had it tuned up nice. And I'll be honest, it was the first time I ever rode his bike. So it was like 5 firsts. First time ever going down New England Dragway. First time ever hopping on his bike. I never rode his bike before. It was always me and my Harley, him and his Triumph, and then our buddy and his R1, and then we had another buddy that had, I want to say, an R6. There was like 4 of us. And this is like just out of my teens, like very early 20s, 19, 20, 21 years old myself. And we're all roughly the same age, so you can just make dollars and cents out of that. What it is, like, we'd be out, just raising hell on Revere and hitting Revere Beach and going to Lynn and just shooting pool, just having fun, right? We'd just be bebopping all around Medford and Everett and just having a good time, being fucking hooligans, going downtown in Boston, just raising hell. A couple of my buddies would be, fucking ripping wheelies. This is way before the wheelie scene, but yeah, I came to the assumption that if I was to get a Dyna, which is down in the garage right now, that I wasn't gonna and this is another full circle. I wasn't gonna beat the shit out of this bike because I want this bike to last me a fucking while. I want this bike to last me hopefully until the end of my life, which I have a lot of weird mortality just for the simple fact that my old man died at 52. So to me, that leaves 8 years left. 7 if you're counting my birthday's next month. But I have like weird mortality. Like, fuck, if my old man didn't make it to 52, am I? You know what I mean? Because drink the same black coffee. He smoked non-filters. I do smoke butts. You probably saw me, doing but I did good for like 2 months, no cigarettes. And then, slowly I've just been like a fucking asshole. My mother would slap the back of my hand right now, but yeah, I'm fucking back on butts. And I'm making an excuse. It's because my coil in my vape shit the bed. And I can hit it once in a while, but it just got that nasty burnt taste that. And I bought like a 5-pack last time I bought a bunch of coils. Normally I just buy them one at a time. They're $30 a pop, but they do last me a solid month. So I look at it like this: what's more expensive, buying smokes or buying vape coils and e-juice? Because those are the only two things. Once you have this, once you got your tank and your mod, and this is what they call this is the mod. But once you have that all set up, all you need to do is fill it. So you fill it with the e-juice that you can see right there, which is viscous as oil, and then the coil, which is the pot that you can see inside of that with like the little white window. What that is Japanese cotton inside of there, and it filters out any impurities that you would get from non-reputable e-juice. So those are the only two things you gotta buy. With cigarettes, you buy a pack of butts and whatever, you rip 20 until you got no longer. But so that's why I was like, I fucking hate smoking butts. I've been smoking my whole life, but I went 3 years without a single cigarette. And now just in like June, July, I quit again. And I picked it back up fucking August 1st. I'm like, I'm kicking myself, man. I hate smoking. It costs a ton. They're $15 a pack here in Boston, dude, which is just ridiculous. Why wouldn't I move to North Carolina where they're still $6 a pack? Like, just, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It is what it is. But my excuse is my coil shit. I just ordered new coils that cost me like $8 from somebody in Florida, I think. They're on their way via eBay. But, yeah, since I can't vape regularly like I like to do, because this is a vice of mine. This is absolutely a vice. I don't have many. It's like this and that are my two vices that I do that aren't good for me. But the mortality rate of what I was saying about my father, he smoked non-filters and drank black coffee his whole entire life. And if you could hear how that man coughed in the morning, God, it was horrendous. But I smoked Newports from 13 to like 30. And that alone is horrible on my lungs. On top of all the other garbage I put in my lungs, right? But yeah, when I think about mortality rates, it's like, fuck, do I only have like another 8 years left? That's how I don't know if it's genetic or what, but my old man only made it to 52, so how long I got in me, But Triumph did make some good ones. The one Norton's. The one I really liked was the old Triumph Daytonas, dude. Those were awesome. Remember the movie Barbed Wire with Pam Anderson? She was on a Triumph Tiger. That was a hella cool enduro. I'm not a big enduro guy, but that was one damn cool enduro. Yeah, Norton's, Beezes, all those old good ones, man. Yep. No, you really don't see that many anymore. You really don't. So $4 or $5, yeah. $15 a whack, dude. $15. So it's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I said, and this is back in like 04, 05, because for the longest time in Boston, you were allowed to smoke in bars and nightclubs. They stopped that in like 04, I think, and I said, all right, and I put my foot down. I'm like, all right, as soon as they go up to $5 a pack, I'm gonna stop. We know how that turned out. Now they're $15 a whack, and it's like, what are they just gonna be at 20 in no time? That's what the for instance was. So about 5 or 6 years ago, New York hit 10, and I heard through the grapevine, because I got buddies, that go out there, that go out there and do runs back and forth and whatnot. But he says, Murph, they're like $10 a pack out here, and that's when they were like still 6 here, and I'm like, fucking hell, dude, crazy. And I said, yeah, man, New York's 10. I was like, wait, no time. Right around the corner, they're going to be, 10, 12 here. And I'm like, fuck that, dude. I was like, as soon as I hit $10, I'm done. Like an asshole. Still smoking and vaping, so. Yeah, man, it's It's just a terrible thing I wish I could put down. I just wish I could just walk away from it. I faced it. I'm addicted to tobacco, and there's nothing I can do to circumvent that. There's absolutely nothing. Man, it just got wicked humid all of a sudden. Wow, and it's like the sun's about to set. I don't know what the hell happened. Holy fucking moly. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we're gonna see how we'll see how shit plays out. What time we got right now? 4 minutes to 6. We're gonna see how shit plays out, and I'd like to go show the spread down in the basement. I'm gonna kill this video in 8 minutes. We got an hour and 52 so far, so we'll kill it at 2-hour live stream. But I'm not gonna give a definite, but what I'd like to do is see, I just got distracted by a couple cool birds up there, just like following each other, doing their thing. I'd like to see how this plays out, because I'd honestly like to do a reveal of every single part I got for the forks and for the front end right now. I think that would be kind of neat. I think that would be neat to show that all off and go down in the garage and literally lay out just about everything I got, and all the other parts too. Like, what was the other shit I was talking about? Like the driver, and like explain all that stuff. Because I could absolutely just go in the basement, or go in the garage, and start sorting out my forks, since it's just a couple of days now that my other parts are going to be here. So I think that would be cool to do that later. I don't know, maybe an hour or two, maybe eight-ish, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I gotta go like make my kids supper and stuff. Yeah, I think that'd be cool to just set everything out and like go over stuff and show you exactly what's what, and go over all the components involved into. And the only thing I don't have, like I said, is my gasket set. I don't have a gasket set, and I don't have an 8 or 9, I can't remember which one. It's either 8 or 9 millimeter long. It's like a 6-inch extension. It's a long Allen that comes through the bottom of the forks. But that's the only two things I don't have right now that is preventing me from getting this party cracking on my front end. So yeah, we'll do like another 5 minutes. 5 on the button. All right, we got 5 minutes, and I'm gonna cut this bad boy off. Boy, that guy has absolutely seen better days. That thing is friggin' rough. Look at all the pits in it. Jeez, just to think all the times I've set this, because this is my water bottle for the bicycle. It's so funny, I went from a bicycle to a Harley like that. It's just a riot. That's funny, I never noticed that. You can really see the Yeti coming through now. Before, I just threw it over and I made sure I got all the air bubbles out. But you can see the shooter sticker from my buddy Bean Shooter, who's up in Lowell. Bean Shooter 69, go check him out. He got absolutely hilarious channel, but he took these little mini license plate stickers. This guy was all black at one time, and he has a yellow one, which is from Medellin, which is a place in Colombia that he frequents regularly. I think he's actually down there right now. And another one that's just looks like a mass plate. It's beautiful. It's all white, but it has the Spirit of America written in red, and it has the blue, Spirit of America written in blue, and then it has the red like numbers like this. But it says red shooter, but it's all white plate. It looks exactly like an everyday mass plate. Very cool. But yeah, man, that thing is just smoked. I'm gonna have to pop a new one on that bad boy. That guy is friggin' spent. So yeah, I think that will work. We'll go set the spread of everything set the spread in the garage of everything we need to lay out, of all the parts I pretty much have. And I'll kind of explain each one. And then, if I decide that the live stream's going pretty good, and you guys are digging it, what I'll do is I'm not going to take my front forks apart, because there's no point of keeping it apart for 2 or 3 days, because the simple fact that I still want to be able to bebop around on it. What I'll do is I'll work on my fork lowers. Oh, look who we got in the yard right here. We got a visitor. I just saw him out of the corner of my eye. Hey, Mr. Bunny. Hi, little rabbit. What do you say, rabbit? Hi, Mr. Rabbit. What do you say, little dude? Oh, he is just one cute little cottontail. That's what the bunnies look like around here. They're usually all that brown. And they got just like little white feet and a tiny white tail. Oh, he's just one cute little thumper. Where you going, dude? I can't keep up with you through the ballasts. I'd like to get over him, but I'll have to unplug my... Oh, fuck it, we're charged enough. I just don't want to scare him. I'm like fully zoomed out, so if he moves, I won't be able to capture him. I'm trying to walk like a silent assassin right now. What one cute little dude. Oh my goodness, he is just the cutest. Hi, little dude. What do you say, kid? What are you doing? There's a ton of bunnies and squirrels in the yard. Oh man, he is just super cute. What a cute little dude. Hey, little fella. Oh man, you are just cute as a button. What are you doing? I'm not a threat, no worries. He got like this really cool little red patch right behind his ear. Oh man, that's too cool. Hopefully you're seeing that little red patch. Man, he is just the coolest. That's about as far away I am. Zoom's not too bad on these Androids, I'll tell you what. They're not terrible at all. Hey, little dude. What do you say, kid? What are you doing? I've seen 90-year-olds smoking 2 packs a day in their shop and kick the bucket after they quit. Yeah, you know what? I've heard that too. Like dudes that have, just like that, like old timers that smoke and drink, and, after they stop drinking, that's when they die. That just freaking blows my mind. Oh, he's chomping some delicious grass that hasn't been mowed in a couple days. What a cool little dude. All right, well, I'm going to end that there, man. Hopefully, if you guys are into it, I will... Let's see if we can still get him over my shoulder. I don't know if he's going to stay there. Oh, he will. He's right there. Let's see if we can do this and extend this guy out. Oh, there he goes. He's directly behind my head. He dipped just a bit. Get right up to the railing. Here we go. Alright, with that being said, keep this bunny over my shoulder. Cool little shit. I get distracted so easily. Look at that moon. Dude, what a cool little crescent moon right over the corner of the house. Oh, that's just a little thumbnail. That's awesome. Yep, he's still there. Alright, 2-hour live stream. It should be sufficient enough. I'll keep him over my right shoulder now. If you guys want, you let me know if you want me to fire up a live stream, and I'll go through all this stuff I got on my front forks on the Harley, and we can do just like a show and tell. I'll just bust everything out, and I'll go over what we got so far before I can tear it apart. So the only things I don't have are that Allen I told you about, and the gas kit. That's the only thing I don't have. So if you guys want me to go over that, I can totally do that. Like I said, it's gonna make my kids suffer. What a cute little shit. I wish it would. It's focusing good. It's just zooming out. You can't get mad detail. Let me read what you just said. Keep my eyes open for a notification. All right, Gino, that works, man. Yeah, love and respect. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I think that could be. Something right under the fence. That's that's your exit plan. All right, so yeah, I'll I'll play it by ear. I don't want to give any promises because I don't like saying I'm going to do something and then not do it. So if I decide to, I will give you a heads up 100%. And I appreciate everybody that tuned in. And Lisa, I hope you're all right. I hope you didn't have some crazy shit in your neighborhood happen that just leveled all your power. Or maybe you didn't pay your bill and you gotta go pay your Wi-Fi bill. All right, so I will give you a shout, and you will or you won't hear from me in a couple hours. So with that being said, love and respect. Thank you to everybody that joined. Thank you for everybody that chimed in. Gino, Lisa, you guys are outstanding. Go check out my pal, Hey It's the Johnsons, on YouTube, on Insta. He got a fantastic channel. His family's awesome. They got just awesome stuff going on with chickens, rabbits, and ducks, and just a cool whole barnyard, backyard where they're just being self-sufficient and living off the land. I think that's excellent. Something I aspire to one day. Lisa Silverwolf, she puts out some fantastic content on Instagram. Go check her out also, please. You'll appreciate her AI art. It's just next level. With that being said, someone you're in a Viking Beantown Bushcraft, I'm friggin' out of here. You guys have an outstanding Sunday. And go relax and enjoy your family. Love and respect, man.